Welcome to Fire Team Chat, IGN's Destiny podcast. This week, Alfredo Diaz
I have returned.
on my right, and Fran Mirabella is back yet again.
Indeed.
On my left, replacing Jose.
Yeah, there was a joke because in the last article, Destin was like, "Well, Jose's out, so we had this Fran guy in." So I was like, "Thanks for the warm welcome, Destin."
Yeah.
Jose is out again, though.
Fran, you're quickly becoming a regular on the show.
I'd love to be a regular.
Yeah. You don't have any other
Destiny.
responsibilities here, really.
No,
so,
I don't do anything here. No. I play a lot of Destiny. So.
Yeah. Fran's our vice president of video. He has a lot to do.
Yeah, he's a lot
here,
to do, but he
actually.
definitely should be on this podcast
Yeah,
all
definitely.
the time.
So let's open it up with the newest thing that we were talking about off the show, and that is the new mode that was introduced into multiplayer, Inferno.
Yeah, so Inferno is a hardcore PvP playlist, and essentially the big thing with that is no radar. It's control 6v6, and heavy comes up once during the middle of the match, pretty much.
My Invective really likes this mode.
So
does everybody else's.
on a lot of the maps, because a lot of the maps that you play in this rotation are small, it is a shotgun fest.
Yeah.
Like, it's just shotguns everywhere. It's not too bad if you have a solid group of like players to run with, because then you have map control. But if you don't grab map control, you get blindsided with a shotgun all the time. Still love the mode, though. I do enjoy having no radar. I like the fact that there's less heavy. I kind of feel like, personally, that they could have gone a step further and just taken out supers.
Yeah.
I think, just make it like a hardcore playlist.
SWAT.
Yeah, because I was going to ask that. You were like, it's a hardcore mode. I was going to be like, is it really hardcore?
Yeah.
It's just the radar's off.
Having
And
radars off is a huge difference,
Yeah.
for sure. Your map awareness needs to be on par. But yeah, I think that would have been like the good final like icing on the cake, was just no supers. Like really, really have it there for the competitive scene.
When you start talking about stuff like no supers, when you start talking like that, I immediately jump to custom playlists, or custom matches anyway, where we're allowed to put the variables we want, like no radar, one shot, like SWAT. SWAT was created by the community, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that happen in Destiny. Moving back to the Inferno and how we feel about it, though, I like it, but when you're playing, you're a lot more paranoid that somebody's going to be behind you with a shotty.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire match, basically.
Have you saw much sniping in there, Alfredo? Like, is that...
No, it's just shotguns.
Just shotguns.
It's shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would have thought maybe more sniping might come out, because it's easier to camp now, right? But...
Well, the maps are... They're small maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not any of the larger maps.
Yeah.
And when you play with like random people, which most people do, then it's just everyone running around everywhere. So you have the opportunity to really like blindside people. I do see a lot more camping around like in a corner with a shotgun.
Yeah.
I do see like blink shotguns and slide around corner shotguns.
Lots of blank.
I know it sounds bad, but I mean it's still a fun playlist to be in. Like I go in there with the last word all the time, and we still come out like winning. But it's just like I would say if there was anything that I was like, there's a lot of shotguns.
Yeah.
So map control.
There's a lot of shotguns in multi anyway, but it sounds like just with this mode especially.
Yeah.
You can get away with sneaking up on someone.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it's still a really, really fun mode to play, and it's nice like not having heavy ammo come up so often, and just everyone just shooting each other with rockets everywhere.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think this is the first of many new modes to come from Bungie? And what modes do we want to see from Bungie?
Well, there was that. Yeah, I think there's going to be more modes. I think that's.
So you're saying you think Bungie is going to come out with new modes that we're going to be able to play similar to Inferno?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a really easy way to keep the game alive and fresh.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was rumors, or I don't know if this is even hinted at anymore, but like Trials of Osiris was supposed to be a thing.
That's still on the map. I mean, it's there.
Yeah, it looks. So it's like you go into this mode and you win matches, and if you lose so many, you have to buy your way back in with like modes of light, or at least that's what like everything was rumored for.
Yeah. I mean,
no, they said Trials of Osiris is a thing.
Okay,
they admitted it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's not will they do it? I mean, absolutely, right? We talked about that last week too, like capture the flag and
Sparrow racing.
Yeah, potentially that. Yeah. I think that's a little more out there.
I'm talking a little bit more traditional stuff. Though.
Yeah, but meaning there's so many traditional things you do in multiplayer that Bungie has done before, so they're no stranger to it, and they've had great success. So it's obviously out there. I think the question is, what do they want to do first? How frequently? I mean, that's the whole thing with Destiny, right? We're trying to figure out when to give you that drop to string you along, long enough so you don't stop playing the game because you've done it all before the next stuff comes out, and that's really what I see their biggest challenge being. And I feel like that's why right now is a good time to drop Inferno, but if you're mostly a PvE player, you're kind of, things are stagnant, obviously. I mean, hard modes, other than hard mode, that's been it for quite some time now.
Yeah. There's no big advantage to playing Inferno either. You don't really get anything for playing Inferno except for enjoyment. You know?
I mean,
I had fun with it, to be honest.
Yeah, the reason to play a game is enjoyment.
It's enjoyment, and I know like the past couple episodes I was on, I was talking about how I was kind of burnt out in the game. And so now I've been trying to find new ways to kind of just, because I do love the game, and I do want to keep playing it, and there are some exotics that I have to hunt down. So like now I treat the game as like PvP. Like that's what I do. I treat it like a multiplayer game, like I would like Call of Duty or Halo, and I go in and PvP on a nightly basis, and it's fun. You do it with friends. But I think like, I mean, honestly, what happens if how cool would it be if they just dropped in a game mode in PvP where everyone just has supers all the time, and you're just running around, using supers all the time, and it's just like, it's just fun to just play and run around. Just it doesn't have to be a serious playlist. It could just be something to just mess around with.
Flash forward to 3 months from now when that exists and we're complaining about how horrible it is.
Well,
no, I mean, it's true. Everywhere. Like, why not? Like, I think to your point before about Inferno, that is part of it. Like, it's not meant to be the end-all, be-all of hardcore, but it's just something else to play that's fun, and it's a start. And maybe that's a good segue to your next question, which is, what do we want to see?
Yeah, well, what I would like to see is Bungie maybe come out with one other mode or another one or two, and then give the community just a few yes/no options, like supers on, yes, no, radar on, yes, no, like just.
Are you thinking the pre-match vote stuff, which we've seen before in was it Battlefield or Call of Duty, or when you would vote on what you want to play? I'm forgetting which game did that.
A bunch of games have done that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, anyway, that could be fun, too. It's just like a pre-match vote off, and it's like turn off this.
Yeah, Inferno or whatever. Just kind of keep the group together and continuing to the next match. Call of Duty does that often.
Yep.
I'd like to see something like that, something kind of simple that they could do.
That'd be cool.
Because you start adding UI, then it's just too complex for them to add in this iteration of the game.
I know this would be harder, but I would like to see them add in. I mean, because right now it's like, okay, I'm either going to do PvE or I'm going to do PvP, but I feel like they're missing like the opportunity to create like a really social environment. Like the tower isn't really a social environment, but like maybe some sparrow races or some kind of like mini game that you can do somewhere, kind of with like other guardians. Kind of just be like, it's like, oh, I'm done. I'm done like getting shot up in PvP. I'm done like but the moments we get frustrated, right? It's like I didn't get the exotic I wanted, but I'm gonna go race my sparrow with friends, like So, because it's like, I mean, we're Guardians. We get frustrated with the game, right? And it's like, oh, it'd be nice to just be like, I still want to play even though I'm frustrated, but it'd be nice to be like, oh, I'm going to go do this fun like side activity.
Yeah. What about you, Fran?
Yeah, I'm trying. I totally did not prepare for this question. I was thinking about, obviously, capture the flag, right? I mean, it's sort of an obvious one. And I was like, is there any, like, are there any weird
Capture
ideas?
the flag is like the one that I'm amazed is not in the game in some way.
Yeah.
You literally take a flag and go like this, and there's a flag. It's like, you have the asset in your game. Like,
that is true. Every match starts with, like, your team has a flag. But that's why I think it's obviously...
Not the flag, though. This is just to look cool.
You know what's funny that you say that is when I first started playing the game in Control, I thought it was capture the flag at first, and then I realized there was no flag to take. You took the points. But
I just hang out here. All right.
But yeah, capture the flag is sort of an obvious one. But I'm like, is there anything, like to your point, Alfredo, weird and fun that might be worth doing? Like all supers. But I was also like, what if... I don't know. You haven't thought it through, but I'm like, what if you could use all exotics in every slot? One person on your team or something.
Yeah, that's just fun.
Something
game
like
modes.
wild, like,
or just a random gun game where you just
or all rockets.
Random gun.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Random gun game where you just get
every time you die,
like
you respawn
Call of
with a
Duty
new
did
gun.
that, right?
Yeah,
it's
nothing revolutionary. It's like other games have done this, but like you die, you respawn with a random gun.
Like, I have
it could be a Gallahorn. It could be the No Land Beyond.
Yeah, what if there was a mode actually that was a throwback to Halo where you actually picked up guns in locations? That would be interesting. It's like kind of an homage, but it's like maybe somehow your stuff's limited, or you can pick up.
Is the infrastructure there to do that in the game?
No,
that would be cool.
I told you I had not thought this stuff through.
That would be really, really cool, though.
That'd be interesting if you knew that. But actually, they would need to be special. So, like, imagine that there was like a Gallahorn with an extra, rocket in the tube, or you know what I mean. And so you going to get that, or maybe that's it. Like instead of the heavy drop, right? Because everybody starts at 0, turn off heavy drops, and then whatever Gallahorn's like sitting up somewhere. Yeah, that it spawns, or stuff like that could be.
I'm sure they have things that capture the flag like in their mind, but like instantly, I'm like, okay, I'm a hunter, CTF. I'm gonna use Blink, and I'm gonna use the Radiant Dance Machine boot to make me faster and spec out for max agility, and then bring the Might multi tool.
Well,
so I'm just ridiculously fast and just blinking everywhere.
That would get you there, but once you have the flag, they're going to limit your abilities, obviously, like they did in
That'd
Halo,
be cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a couple other ones now. So, I like you guys were almost saying it, but what if your primary weapon or something kept randomly like changing or something? Like something cycled, like whether it was like, Hawkmoon and Meated, but it would switch for everybody, so you'd have to adapt to it on the fly. That could be cool. And then I was also thinking like sort of a Smash Brothers approach. Classic Fran mentioned a Nintendo game. In every I mentioned Zelda last week, by the way, so I'm setting the pace.
It's an Easter egg. Everybody
Metroid, let's think about that for next week. But anyway, like introduce like Fogoth or like a big monster into a match. Like, could that be interesting somehow? I guess you would need new levels.
That's kind of cool.
But what if you actually started have a little PvE element in PvE? PvE element.
I know what you're saying. I can't believe I'm saying this because I hate this map. But like, if you brought back the moon map, and then there was like, there was like Fogoth you could fight for in the middle. And then he
did they take Moon out of rotation?
That'd be kind of fun.
I haven't gotten Moon in forever.
And I am thank you Bungie because
I like
a
that
lot of
map.
people did not like that map. It's a snipe fest.
Yeah. You get you used to get it all the time.
Yeah.
Moving on. Thank you guys for sharing. your thoughts.
Write in. I think they should write in if they've got ideas.
Yeah, write in either in the comments or to destiny@ign.com with your ideas for how to improve multiplayer, the multiplayer experience.
Pick one for next week.
Some other people wrote in, actually. That's a good segue into this.